This is the incredible story of a rejected wild horse sold for just $1, who would go on to defy all expectations and leave medical professionals completely speechless. His name was Mongo, a scrawny, unassuming mustang captured from the plains of Nevada. He was deemed too small, too weak, and too stubborn to be of any use. At the Bureau of Land Management auction, while other horses fetched hundreds or even thousands of dollars, nobody wanted Mongo. The bidding stalled, and in a last-ditch effort, the auctioneer offered him up for $1. A kind-hearted rancher named Adolfo, feeling a pang of sympathy, raised his hand. He didn't see a useless animal. He saw a flicker of spirit in the horse's eyes. Little did he know that $1 decision would change not only his life but the lives of countless others. Back at Adolfo's ranch, Mongo was a handful. He was fearful, distrustful, and resisted every attempt at training. He'd buck, rear, and run from human contact. Many told Adolfo to give up, that the horse was a lost cause. But Adolfo was patient. He spent hours just sitting in Mongo's paddock talking to him, letting the wild horse get used to his presence. He didn't use force or intimidation, only kindness and understanding. Slowly, miraculously, a bond began to form. Mongo started to nuzzle Adolfo's hand, to follow him around the enclosure. The wall of fear was beginning to crumble, replaced by a foundation of trust. Adolfo saw a sharp intelligence in Mongo, a quickness to learn that others had mistaken for stubbornness. It was during these quiet moments that Adolfo's wife noticed something remarkable. Whenever she felt anxious or stressed, Mongo would gently approach her, rest his head on her shoulder, and stay with her until she felt calm. It was uncanny. It was as if he could sense her emotional state. They began to wonder if this so-called rejected horse had a special gift. To test their theory, they invited a friend over who was going through a difficult time. Without any prompting, Mongo did the same thing. He walked over, offered a gentle nuzzle, and provided a quiet, comforting presence. It was clear this was no coincidence. Mongo had an extraordinary ability to connect with people on an emotional level. Word of the empathic horse started to spread through the small community. People dealing with grief, anxiety, and depression began visiting Adolfo's ranch just to spend time with Mongo. The results were astonishing. Veterans grappling with post-traumatic stress found solace in his silent companionship. Children with autism, who often struggled with social interaction, would open up and connect with the gentle Mustang. Mongo seemed to understand what each person needed, offering a calm strength that words could not provide. He never judged, he never demanded anything. He simply offered unconditional acceptance. The $1 horse was becoming a local legend, a four-legged therapist with an uncanny healing touch. The story eventually reached the ears of a group of neurologists and psychologists from a nearby university. They were skeptical, of course. The idea of a horse with therapeutic abilities sounded more like folklore than science. But the anecdotal evidence was too compelling to ignore. They proposed a formal study. They wanted to see if Mongo's effect on people could be measured, to understand what was actually happening. Adolfo agreed, hoping to validate what he already knew in his heart. So, the rejected Mustang was about to be put under the scientific microscope. The researchers brought in sophisticated equipment to monitor the heart rates, brain waves, and stress hormone levels of volunteers before and after their interactions with Mongo. The day of the study arrived. Participants, each dealing with varying levels of stress and anxiety, were monitored as they entered Mongo's paddock one by one. The doctors watched the data feeds, their professional skepticism on full display. As Mongo calmly approached the first participant, something amazing happened on the monitors. The volunteer's heart rate began to slow down, their breathing became deeper and more regular. Brainwave patterns associated with stress and anxiety visibly decreased, replaced by patterns indicating a state of calm and relaxation. The researchers looked at each other in disbelief. This was not a placebo effect. This was a measurable physiological change. They repeated the experiment with person after person, and the results were consistently the same. In every single case, interacting with Mongo led to a significant reduction in physiological markers of stress. One of the lead neurologists, a woman who had published dozens of papers, simply took off her glasses and stared at the screen, speechless. She later admitted, "In all my years of research, I have never seen a non-pharmaceutical intervention have such a profound and immediate effect. It's medically unexplainable." The horse they were observing wasn't just comforting people. He was fundamentally changing their neurobiology in real time. The scientific community was baffled. What was it about this $1 horse that made him so special? The researchers theorized it was a combination of his calm demeanor, his intuitive nature, and a phenomenon known as heart rate coherence. They found that Mongo's own heart rhythm was incredibly steady and coherent. When people were near him, their own heart rhythms would start to synchronize with his, a process that helps regulate the nervous system and induce a state of peace. Mongo wasn't just emotionally intuitive. He was a walking, breathing biological calming agent. His own difficult past, his journey from a scared, wild animal to a trusting companion, had somehow equipped him with a deep, nonverbal understanding of suffering and a powerful ability to heal it. Mongo's story became a beacon of hope. He became a certified therapy animal, working with hospitals, veteran centers, and schools. The reject horse, once deemed worthless, was now priceless. He showed the world that value isn't always obvious. Sometimes the greatest strengths are hidden beneath a rough exterior, waiting for someone with a little patience and a lot of heart to see them. Adolfo often said that buying Mongo was the best dollar he ever spent. But the truth is, Mongo gave back far more than he ever received. He taught an entire community, and then the world, about the power of empathy, the strength of a gentle spirit, and the incredible, unexplainable magic of a horse who was simply born to heal. Mongo's legacy lives on, not just in the people he helped directly, but in the way his story has changed our understanding of animal-human connection. It has inspired new therapy programs and funded further research into the healing potential of animals. It's a powerful reminder that everyone and everything has a purpose, even if it's not immediately clear. So the next time you see something or someone that seems a little broken or overlooked, remember Mongo. Remember the $1 horse who was sold for nothing but ended up being worth everything. His story proves that true worth isn't about pedigree or price, but about the love you can give and the lives you can change. Thanks for watching, and if you were touched by this story, please like and subscribe for more incredible tales.